Meredith, Democrats are holding up funding demanding immigration enforcement reform. We just got an update on unemployment. First time claims rose barely by 1,000 last week to 214,000. The number of people continuing to collect jobless benefits declined slightly to 1.85 million. And on Wall Street, another sell off is brewing. Dow futures down more than 400 points. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
This is Viewpoint, a presentation of the News and Public Affairs Department of AM 1490 WHBB. We welcome your input on the issues of the day. You can contact us on the Viewpoint line by calling 875-1490. The opinions expressed by our callers and guests do not necessarily reflect those of the management and staff of AM 1490 WHBB. And now, here's today's Viewpoint.
And good morning and welcome into the Thursday morning Viewpoint. For this Thursday morning, March 12th, 2026, I'm your host, Randy Williams. 334-875-1490 and 1492 are the telephone numbers to call. If you have comments or questions, you can also join us on YouTube on our live stream, the selmapostherald.com YouTube channel. Good morning. How do you feel this morning? I tell you, there were some power outages, I understand, in some parts of the county overnight, and we did have a lot of windy weather. Matter of fact, we still have a wind advisory that is in effect until 7 p.m. And so, with all of the activity, there's been a lot of news being generated. But when I don't know what they're thinking about, but before it's all said and done, a lot of people are going to get burned out from the news, all that negative news. I hear more fear mongering, than I do facts being reported. But I tell you what, I'm taking away from this when I look at this now. Just think, if Iran is creating the kind of havoc they are, what would they have done if they had gotten nuclear capability? Do you think they would not have used a nuclear weapon? We take it real light now, but remember, if those of us who are students of history, and I'm reminded of the race that existed between the United States and Germany, with the scientists who eventually developed the H-bomb, the first nuclear weapon. Oppenheimer and the other scientists and the special scientists that it took, the top secret classified projects that it took to create nuclear energy. But remember, Hitler and his scientists were racing against the United States to get it first. And they had experimented with several variations. They really had started a lot of the ballistic missile programs and had really made a lot of technological advancement when it came to rockets and rocket science. The Nazis, Nazi Germany was deadly, and they didn't make any bones about it. They let you know that anytime you get away with killing 6 million people of any race. 6 million Jews. They also targeted what I didn't know, the gypsies. They hated the gypsies as much as they did the Jews. Blacks were in there too somewhere, but Hitler hated everybody just about. He hated blacks too, and when he was pushing that superiority narrative until the Olympics. I think it was 1940, I've forgotten the exact year, when Jesse Owens, the African-American born in Alabama, won and became the fastest human being alive by winning the races that he won at the Olympics held in Germany, and Hitler refused to shake his hand. So my point is, Iran has already said they just came right out for years and for decades. First of all, how many of us have forgotten about 9/11 and the terrorist attack, the terrible terrorist attacks in New York City? How can we just let our guard down? How can we allow ourselves to become so divided and forget who Iran is. If we go all the way back to 1977, when the hostages, the American hostages, were held for 444 days, cost Jimmy Carter his second term as president. He didn't make it. He was a one-term president, and many experts, political pundits, credit the hostage situation with having ended his presidency. Viewpoint, you're on the air. Good morning. How are you?
A lot of the planets around the state of Alabama and some other states from closed. I had been there twice, and nobody ever came to the mic, and so I just left. I like that sonic Eminem blast, but the last time, 2 times I went there, I sat there for about 15, 20 minutes. Nobody never answered.
Wow.
I just want to know that you hear anything.
No, that's a good question. I haven't heard anything about the local sonics. I think the last time I had gotten some information on that, they hadn't decided to close all of them. They believe they're probably going to target the ones that aren't making money.
But I heard, but I had saw online where some people said that it was closed, and I just thought you probably had heard it.
No, I hadn't heard anything, but I'll check into it. I sure will. Thank you for bringing it to my attention.
And also, I just wanted to say that they also said that the mayor has some new things coming. You know, even though you don't vote for somebody, you want whoever you know got an office to succeed, because if they succeed, we succeed. And sometimes we be too negative. You know, we can see things that other folks say, but then, you know, after they get in office and they start doing something, we still be so negative of them. But if they got in office and they doing what they supposed to do, it shouldn't be anything said about it. And you look online so much and you see people bash themselves, even people in Valley Grande, but yet they still come over here. But I say, if you're not doing anything to help Selma, just keep your opinion to yourself.
Well, that's called political maturity, or maturity in general. But I'm with you. You know, once we get too personal in these political races, to the point of where, you know, it's a turnoff to see. You know what I mean. You almost don't want to deal with politics sometimes.
Absolutely. Selma ain't changed since I've been there, but you ain't come back and try to help them. You don't give anything back to the city, and then if you haven't been here since you left, just leave it behind. And just like I told somebody, Selma gonna take care of Selma. God is still in the plan of Selma, and I know some good gonna come to Selma. Some good always comes out of Selma. Some good always hear something good about Selma. And if it didn't, how come so many people want to come to Selma?
And control it, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I was down there Sunday talking to a lady. She said she moved to Montgomery 3 years ago. And she said she had always heard about the Jubilee. She said ever since she's been in Montgomery, so she come down every year. So she said she came Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And she said, I just think it's a wonderful thing. She said, I even brought some people to the Jubilee. And I thought that was so nice. I mean, so many people coming out of town talking about that Jubilee and just stuff in general downtown. It just will blow your mind. And there's so many people you meet.
Oh no, there's some wonder. I'm with you. I meet some wonderful people, and if you study the crowd, and I study the crowd, and it's all kinds of folks, people from all kinds of ethnic backgrounds, black and white, Hispanic, Asian, you name it. I've seen them, African, you know what I mean, Indian.
Absolutely, it's a rainbow out there. All you gotta do is look.
Yes, ma'am.
You see, I was standing by 2 white guys that came with a group. And I mean, they was enjoying the music, and one of them got out there with the dance. And one of them, he was just over there patting his feet. I told him, if you don't get out there and do your thing, I'm gonna get out there. Stone up and ran out a while, he started dancing.
Yeah.
Don't dance often, but especially in no crowd, but it was just a good vibe. And I enjoyed looking at the people enjoy themselves.
Well, you know, I'm with Mayor Moss. He said that we can't let a few individuals define our city or events that we have here. So the people that got involved in that shooting, I sure hope they hold them accountable. That didn't make sense, to do that at a peaceful event.
It didn't, and I posted on my Facebook page. Everybody talking about the shooting. It happened at the Jubilee. I said they brought it to the Jubilee. I said you posting all about the shooting. Post about all these people. Millions of people was out there on the bridge. They had people from the bridge all the way back down Dallas Avenue.
I know. I took pictures of it. For as far as you can see, a sea of people. For as far as you can see, after I left the station yesterday morning, just by coincidence, I don't know what it is with me and Rose, but I ran into Fire Rose Torre, and she told me she was headed to a meeting about concerning the violence the shootings that took place. But as she said to me, she said, "Hey, Randy, it wasn't the Jubilee. Selma has the problem. The Jubilee didn't do it. It was some folks that weren't even associated with the Jubilee." And she's right. We got to fix the problem, this cultural issue and problem that's creating this violence. We need to get to the root of the problem.
Absolutely. But I told you Monday, I said, don't make no difference who hate Rose, but it wasn't about her. And it wasn't about the Jubilee. It was about some individuals that just couldn't get along and they just wanted to show out.
That's ridiculous.
I also told my cousin when she called me Saturday. A little after I got home a little after before the shooting started, and my phone blew up because they knew I was down there. But I told my cousin, I said, the shootings all over Facebook and all over the media. I said, but Sunday I told her that they posted all that, but look at all these people that was here. I sent her a picture. I said, look at all the people that was here.
Well, one media outlet said hundreds. I said, no, thousands.
I said, that shooting didn't stop nothing.
It sure didn't.
It didn't. But I just wanted to say that you have a good day.
Thank you so much. In fact, I was downtown maybe about 10 minutes before the shooting took place and had just left. And after I left is when, things broke out. And I understand it didn't happen at the Jubilee. It actually, the shots were fired somewhere else, but it was close enough to be heard. And that's what created almost a potential stampede. That's, I've seen it. I remember once, I remember once when I was preteen, I was in the movie theater and all of a sudden it was a stampede. I mean, this movie theater was full and all of a sudden people started running and hollering and running out the door. I thought, I thought the sky was falling. Come to find out what started it was a bumblebee. A bumblebee had started to try to bite or sting somebody in the front of the theater, and they started running, and everybody else ran in suit. And so, and afterwards, I guess I must have been one of almost the last. I was getting ready to. I didn't even make it quite out, and it was the first time at that particular theater I enjoyed the rest of the movie because I could hear it. It was the Pearl Theater. I'll never forget it. It would be so loud. People would talk and laugh and fighting and everything else. So much was going on, regardless of, don't let it be a comedy. There are some movies that I haven't heard the voice audio to until I became an adult, until the cable came along and the internet, and I could listen to it finally in the comfort of my home. But when I was coming up, the movie, it was so loud in the theater, I couldn't even hear the movie. So when they talk about freedom of speech and somebody comes in and do they have the right to say, that there's a fire and it starts panic and, havoc and everything else, I understand human nature. And so all it takes sometimes one person starts running and ducking, and that's all she wrote. Nobody don't even wait to find out what's going on. You just hit the dirt and we'll find out later, right? Duck and ask questions and ask questions later. Me too. So I've done it too. I've seen some crazy things. So thank God nobody died, but the good news is that we're coming back. I think we're going to be okay. I really do. Now, one of the things that the caller pointed out that's really important is, yes, regardless of who we support for a political office, if my candidate wins, fine. If my candidate doesn't win, well, I don't understand why we shouldn't. One of the reasons why we really shouldn't get mad with each other if we're friends. If we get mad with each other over some politics, we're not friends in the first place, But the common sense thing to do, the smart thing to do is, well, my candidate didn't win, but yours did. Maybe I can get you to get a favor for me. That's what, I don't understand. Why are we so bitter and angry and mad? I think we want to be bitter, angry, and mad anyway. And then, I am no big fan of Al Sharpton's, but if he says something that's accurate, I have to give him credit. And he did say one thing during the Jesse Jackson ceremonies in South Carolina. He said, President Trump is not the problem. We're the problem. What happened to us? Viewpoint, you're on the air.
Good morning, man, and to the audience. Finally, we were reminiscing the other day, but I want to point out, because a lot of people would remember this. Dick Gregory would come every year to our Rich Cross.
I've got pictures of him. I got a picture of Dick Gregory on the steps of Brown Chapel. And I've run into him a few times too. Yep, go ahead.
But one of the events that he would be featured at would be the Saturday morning foot soldiers breakfast. And I'm bringing that up because that was such a wonderful experience. I think a lot of people who are bringing buses back to Selma, some of them seem to be members of the community from the old foot soldier days, or they are the children of some of those foot soldiers. So I think many of them seem to be on some of the buses that have been coming in. One of the other things I wanted to mention, this war is so frightening, and it's so frightening. How many girls were murdered, killed?
I don't know, but I mean, we know that any war, just imagine what would have happened if Iran had struck us first, and what would have happened if Iran had nuclear weapons. Do you think we'd be sitting here having a conversation? You know how much they love Americans, right? I'm talking about the government of Iran.
Yeah, I just look for diplomatic ways to resolve issues.
How do you do diplomacy with a nut that's determined to kill you, that won't sit down and negotiate and talk? They had every opportunity to negotiate, and they said no. And look at how they're reacting now. They're letting you know. That's what ended World War II. You do. I don't know if you know this or not from a historical standpoint, but in World War II, the reason why they dropped the nuclear bomb on Japan, it was the only way to end the war, because the Japanese had said, we're going to fight to the last baby, regardless. That was the only way. That was why they dropped the bomb, two of them. And that's what ended World War II.
I know more than energy wars, it's just so frightening. So I just can't stand it. Okay, thank you, man.
Yep, thank you for calling. I understand people don't like Donald Trump, but But for your dislike of Donald Trump, are you willing to cut yourself? Are you willing to commit suicide because you don't like one particular person? Well, he's doing, I believe, what some of the other presidents should have done a long time ago. And so now he has nothing to lose politically. But if we better pray that we're successful in being able to stop because Iran would have used, and if you don't believe it, if you don't think that they are intent on holding the world hostage, with extreme religious ideas, look at what they're doing now. It speaks for itself. I don't know what has happened to common sense. Viewpoint, you're on the air. Good morning. How are you? What would I do if who attacked my house?
If I attack your house.
You'd be in trouble, my friend.
All right. So, what are they doing there? They do.
Yeah, but we're talking war and we're talking politics, and there's a such thing as surrender.
Look here, man. Iran didn't attack us now, Ty.
What do you mean Iran didn't attack us now, Ty? What do you want? What are you talking? What happened in the 70s? And what about them? We know it's documented that Iran is the #1 sponsor of terrorism. They killed thousands of our people. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, who are the #1 sponsor?
Oh, well, you know what? I don't know what. I don't know. Well, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion.
Let me speak, please. We are the #1 sponsor of terrorists. We are the ones that shooting weapons all across this country. We should weapon the people there, and we have to fight later. Afghanistan, Iraq, everything else. So give me that.
Well, you need to move. Why don't you just move to Iran and Iraq since you're so pro-Iran and Iraq, huh?
If I can't look in the mirror and see the fault in myself, why should I try to blame?
Well, you know what the Bible says. That's right. Pull the log out of your own eye first before you accuse somebody else.
Right now, brother, it's just like she said.
You would have us commit suicide.
That's what we're doing.
Oh well, that's your opinion. I don't think so. Thank God that we better be the ones on the offense before we're on the defense. And you in the military, you should understand that. You were in the military, you said, right? You should. You don't sound like it. Like I told you, you don't understand leadership. You know, if you have been a lieutenant maybe or a captain, maybe you'd understand a little better.
Calm down a little minute. Now, what Ms. Cole said was, how many children got killed over there in that bombing? It was 150 something.
I don't know.
I'm telling you what it is. And the thing is this. Mistakes happen in war or whatever. You understand? Mistakes happen. But the thing is, you own up to it. This president won't own up to nothing.
Everybody that's listening knows you do not like President Trump. He couldn't do anything right. Either it doesn't matter. He's not going to do anything right in your eyes anyway. So you have no credibility criticizing. You have no credibility when it comes to criticizing President Trump, because I know that you are subjective. Which country are you talking about?
I'm talking about Iran. When we overthrew the government and didn't and all that and everything in the right system, we went over there first. If they didn't come over here and you don't have anything just like the United States over there, all those lies that they come out, well, they was going to hit us and this and that, they don't have anything to make it over here. This is just a lie that people should have been falling into. Those people are not threatening us. You go over there in their country, you going over there and living with them. Stop doing that. You don't have no problem. Look at this man since he's been in office. He done attacked, 7, 8 countries. What his focus has been the president of no war, real America first. Where's America now? His price is going up, food price is going higher. Don't give me that crap about this, that, and all the other man. The man don't care about us. Oh, this is a short time thing. When the war started over there in Russia and Ukraine, and again, I went up, the brave body every day for it. But now, President Trump, he got nothing to do with it. Oh, he got nothing to do with anything. If he didn't tear up that contract in the beginning that Obama had in place, none of it would happen. None of it.
Okay. All right. I got to go. I got to get ready to take this break. Let me let you make your closing remark. You had at least 2 or 3 minutes to speak. You got another minute at the most, and then I'm going to cut you off. What do you want? Do you want me to give you 30 minutes? You want another 30 minutes? You want to do the program? Thank you. Boy, my Lord. Anyway, it's nothing wrong. Hey, everybody's welcome to express your opinion, even if it's different from mine. But no, you're not going to run things, and you're not going to run over me, and you're not going to dominate. Sorry, not going to happen. Not unless the Lord says so. Let's take this break, and I'll be back with more right after this.
I'm Jimbo Hall from Marion Junction, Alabama. It means a lot to be named Alabama's Catfish Farmer of the Year. My family is proud to provide healthy, sustainable fish to your family's table and to create good jobs for Alabama. Always look for the U.S. Farm-Raised Catfish seal to make sure you're getting your best. Thank you for supporting local catfish farmers. Find recipes and restaurants at uscatfish.com.
In today's world, repairing your vehicle to showroom condition demands cutting-edge technology. That's what you get at the all-new George's Paint and Body Shop in Selma. After tornado damage total reconstruction, George's has the latest advanced technology, especially designed for today's multi-system safety features like lane departure sensors. The two new Chief Flame machines and computer laser measuring system delivers pinpoint accuracy down to the millimeter. And the two new downdraft paint booth units provide perfect quality. And with the reconstruction comes a much larger facility designed for an increased capacity and quicker turnaround time. George's deals directly with your insurance company, but they work for you. Call to schedule your estimate and repair today. See the pros, Eric and Scooter Hagen at George's Paint and Body Shop, 1215 J.L. Chestnut Jr. Boulevard, or call 334-872-1441. Y'all new George's Paint.
1490 WHBB. Good morning. How do you feel? Certainly hope you're feeling well this morning. Now, you know, I hear all of these various narratives, right? But at the end of the day, for me, as I have said repeatedly, as others, nonviolence is really the way to go. I am not a proponent of war. However, there are times when you have to be take a pro-defensive. You have to be defensive and offensive if it means saving your life or the life of the people. And I'm going to play some of Bernard Lafayette, who passed away last week, who was a master negotiator. You know, and keep in mind when it comes to this war, in terms of Iran, in terms of recent developments, they tried to do a deal. And Iran said no, that they were determined to develop their nuclear weapon program. They said they only were going to do create nuclear materials for energy, but the experts in the world say that they were trying to use. They offered them the kind of nuclear energy that they could use for energy. They rejected that. They wanted military nuclear grade weaponry materials. Viewpoint, you're on the air.
Randy, buddy. I'm glad that man's not in the military.
We'd be in trouble.
We would be in trouble. You know, when they started out that conversation, the last meeting they had with Americans, that they had enough nuclear material, 66th grade nuclear weapon, to build 11 nuclear weapons. That's when he started off the meeting. You know, Obama's one of the reasons that we're in this with that stupid contract that he had with them, deal that they would not do any of this stuff. And they've been doing it underground ever since. And don't you remember that $1.56 billion in cash he gave them?
I don't know how we could have. I don't know what in the world our leaders were thinking about, because the bombs that Iran is using today, that they're depleting, they had such a had built such a cache of weapons. But like you said, that was the money that they used to that we're fighting against now.
Well, he says we were never attacked. Well, we lost over 6,000 soldiers either maimed or dead because of the roadside bombs that were all produced by Iran and given to the folks in Iraq. You know, I would have put a stop to it a long time ago. Bush should have done it when we were at war over there. When we found out they were supplying these weapons to the Iraqis and arming American soldiers, we should have put a stop to it back then. You know, I'm glad at least we're trying to stop it from happening anytime soon. But you know, when somebody wants to hurt you, Randy, and their religion and their ideology is that they're going to destroy you, they will eventually succeed in small ways if we don't keep a handle on this. And, you know, I don't know how many children he was talking about that got hurt over there. party, they have fostered the murder of 60 million babies in this country through abortion. And he's going to worry about 100 and something children. I mean, I can't understand people that don't even understand the party they're backing. And, you know, we're complicit in that. We're complicit in that murder if we think it's okay, if we keep voting for the officials that think it's okay and push it. And Planned Parenthood, giving them money to murder babies. I can't imagine us keeping or backing a party, and Republicans are just as bad in some ways, but the homosexuality and pushing all this stuff to the schools, that you can be transgender, they're teaching little children they can be transgender, they can pick their sex. It's no wonder our young people are so confused, because I think they, you know, I think the left party in this country has been playing this for a while. They've gone into the schools and they're teaching these children that what is normal is not normal.
Well, I think that's why they fight so hard against anything that resembles morality.
Oh yeah, they don't want to say it's moral. I mean, you know, you look at the families back in the 60s, I don't care how bad the racism was, family units were intact. People were happy. People they may not have had much, but they had their family and they had God, they had religion, and they had respect for other people. And you know, what we're doing now is called progress. I don't want any part of it, because these kids out here now don't have a clue, and they don't care about you and me. All they care about is having fun, doing whatever they want to do, and to shoot somebody. They can see, you know, when you kill somebody, it's permanent. And anyway, I don't know. I'm glad that I got to grow up in a time that was a lot better, and I feel sorry for these children that are growing up now, because they got a long lesson to learn, hard lesson to learn about what's right and what's wrong. But anyway, I hope this war's over quickly, or this military action's over quickly. I hope we can get them disarmed, and I hope the people rise up. I just think it's too late. And we let them slaughter 30,000 people. I mean, if I live there and I watch my neighbors getting killed and hung and everything else, I don't think I can get out and talk either.
Well, they've already said they know it's risky to protest, and I think I heard another person, a citizen of Iran, said no, because what they're dealing with are religious extremists. I don't care if you're Catholic and you're advocating to suppress freedom of speech or religion, and you're willing to do it through violence and to kill people to shut them up. That's wrong.
It is wrong. But Randy, look, you handled that call perfectly this morning. I'm glad the pills are working, but
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Viewpoint, you're on the air. You got a minute. I'm not going to keep letting you're not going to dominate. You got 1 minute. Make your point and be done with it.
I have a couple of questions actually. In the last 50 years, Iran or China, which country they invaded or attacked?
Say that again.
China or Russia, in the last 50 years, which country did they invaded or
that's another one of those questions that to answer you accurately, I'd have to really do a little research. But I mean, my goodness, isn't Russia and Ukraine in the war right now?
I said Iran and China. You shouldn't have been talking about did they access.
Oh, you said Iran and China. You didn't say Russia. You said Iran and China.
Iran and China. What country?
No, like I said, I'd have to. That's one of those questions. That's another. That's a straw man. You're just making a straw man. Look, if anybody with common sense knows that Iran is bent on destroying America and Israel, and they've made it clear. Say what? Look, I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole with you because what you're attempting to do doesn't make sense. You have a good day. Told you had a minute. I got to take this break. We'll be back with more right after this.
Dr. Ralph Redd and the staff of Alabama Vascular Specialists are proud to announce they're now operating at their new Selma location on Thursdays. Alabama Vascular Specialists continues to grow and is now at 2117 Broad Street in the former Lightfoot Chiropractic office across from Selma High School. This newly renovated location, Alabama Vascular Specialists, will enable Dr. Redd, Dr. White Giddens, Dr. Tan, along with their entire staff, to better serve the patients of Central and West Alabama. If you or someone you love suffers from poor circulation in your legs, from symptoms of PAD, peripheral artery disease, you should contact Alabama Vascular Specialists as soon as possible. No physician referral required. Telephone number 334-801-9952 or alabamavascularspecialist.com. Growing to better serve those in need of vascular treatment and surgery. Alabama Vascular Specialist.
Vaughn Regional Medical Center continues to grow and needs to increase the nursing staff. Licensed practical nurses are invited to join our team to grow your LPN career with great benefits and very competitive pay. Comprehensive benefits include a $15,000 signing bonus for full-time only, tuition reimbursement, and employee discounts. To get more information and apply, visit vaughnregional.com/careers. Care for others and grow your LPN career at Vaughn Regional Medical Center in Selma.
Just when you thought inflation was out of control, here is an unbelievable announcement from Cotton State Barns. Save up to an amazing 18% on Alabama's top-rated, #1 selling portable barns. This includes most models on every Cotton State barn lot across Alabama. That's 18% savings. Plus, you still get $0 down on most models, no credit check, free delivery, and low monthly rent-to-own payments on Alabama's top-rated, #1 selling portable barn. And get 90 days, same as cash. Wow! All the great benefits of Cotton State Barns, and now with up to 18% savings. See dealer for details. Visit the website, cottonstatebarns.com, to find a dealer near you. No credit check, low monthly rent-to-own payments, and free delivery anywhere in Alabama. Cotton State Barns. Built in Alabama, Cotton State Barns.
1490 WHBB. Now, the last caller, if you go back to the YouTube when it finishes recording, you will see, you can clock it, that he had at least 5 minutes, if not more. And he calls back 2 and 3 times. I don't have a problem with anybody calling, but one caller is not going to dominate the show. And so that's just the nature of the beast. And so I know I have not been unfair. You're not going to run over me. That's the message that I send. You run over somebody else. You're not running over me, huh? And I don't buy into this fear mongering. I'm not trying to make people afraid to live or afraid to move and fear this and I'm scared of that and blaming this person and blaming that person. Let me see what I can do about developing myself first. And before I go back to the phone line, when it comes to these gas prices, even with them even with them rising where they are, it's still lower than what it was under the previous administration on a consistent level. And the White House press secretary was asked about where the administration was as it comes to gas prices, and this is what she had to say.
The president and his energy team are closely watching the markets, speaking with industry leaders, and the U.S. military is drawing up additional options following the president's directive to continue keeping the Strait of Hormuz open. I will not broadcast what those options look like, but just know the president is not afraid to use them. Rest assured to the American people, the recent increase in oil and gas prices is temporary, and this operation will result in lower gas prices in the long term. Once the national security objectives of Operation Epic Fury are fully achieved, Americans will see oil and gas prices drop rapidly, potentially even lower than they were prior to the start of the operation. The president and his energy team are
I
closely
got
watching the
you. I'm
markets,
tired of I
speaking with
got you.
industry
You know,
leaders,
it's
and
that's
the U.S.
old. That's
military
what
is
else is
drawing up
old.
additional
You know,
options
for people
following
who
the
are still in
president's
that
directive
60s
to continue
mindset of
keeping the
accusing the
Strait of
United
Hormuz
States
open.
of
I will not
everything that's
broadcast what those
wrong, the
options look
United
like, but
States
just
is good.
know the
Get up off
president
your
is
butt and
not
do
afraid
something
to use
yourself.
them.
We
Rest assured, to the
we live in
American
a
people,
country
the
uh,
recent increase in
that
oil and gas
allows
prices.
us the opportunity to be whatever we want if we prepare ourselves. And I know there's a whole bunch of folks that are just bottom line is you're lazy. We don't want it. We don't want it. We want everything given to us. And nobody, whether you're black or white, regardless of what race you are, none of us are superior. Viewpoint, you're on the air.
We can't regulate anything and make people live up to our culture expectations. I think that the one that was talking about what people decide individually about abortions and all of those kind of things. I think that their priorities misplaced, and they seem to feel that no one else has experiences, and women know for sure how many babies been aborted in their wombs and the kind of care that's needed. So I don't think they look at these issues very carefully. But let me mention something to you, Randall. In her testimony, Christy Knowles mentioned that Libby was going to labor. I guess she's talking about Levitt and Bundy. Well, there's a lot of them in her with her glamorous self and being, what she said, I think she said some kind of youth woman. She makes a suspicion of, but I don't think people, she is as whores and sluts that women, liberals think of them as being Republican women being that way. She said that I haven't heard people say that publicly, that they thought of them as being that. They seem to carry themselves in that.
Well, maybe the word is promiscuous, I think, and there's a lot of people that are uninhibited, but at the end of the day, when I hear these rallies in the narrative and some of the filthy things I've heard them say, at the end of the day, they want sexual freedom. They want to be able to make love as many times as they want to and not to worry about the consequences, and they've made that clear.
Yeah, it's kind of like what's going on with the pedophiles of our president, 34 felons.
Now, which president are you accusing of being a pedophile?
The pedophile that seems to be in the Epstein files.
Well, that's a whole bunch of them. I mean, but now, now there's a portion of the Democratic Party that supports that appears to support that kind of behavior. I understand half a dozen Democrats have resigned their offices because it came out of what they were involved in with Mr. Epstein.
I've seen Democratic politicians be dismissed for even having a picture of somebody that they touched.
Of a child they touched, huh? No, I'm not going to look. I got to get ready. I'm getting ready to play Bernard Lafayette. You've been on a couple of times too. I got to let you go. Let me give you a minute to wrap up.
I just wanted to say we're being hypocritical while we're talking about other people being hypocritical. We need to stop that. Thank you, Ray.
Thank you for calling. Viewpoint, you're on the air.
Good morning, man.
Yes, sir. How are you this morning?
30 minutes. How about you?
Doing fine. It's as usual. What's on your mind?
Where did this weather come from?
Where did who come from?
Where did weather come from?
Oh, climate change. Oh, it may not be over. This is just getting started.
Oh, man. And I'm going to go ahead
I was gonna go down to the beach today.
Well, you may want to wait a minute. You may want to give it 48 hours. I don't know what the rip current is like down there, with this kind of weather.
Oh, I know.
Well, all we can do is I take it one day at a time. But no, it really is, but we were blessed. Look at what happened in the Midwest. I mean, my goodness, woo, boy, they had some terrible weather the last 48 hours.
It's hard to believe. Weather can change that quick.
Yeah, well, we can't control Mother Nature, that's for sure.
From what people said, they had Trump in.
Well, it's a good thing that just because we say something doesn't make it true. It's a good thing that's not the case. Man, wow.
Why do people get off the heck on that head going on with this stupid bull crap? I mean, I thought the human race had been got better. I don't know, it's not like that worse.
Well, it sure is something to think about. It's food for thought.
I haven't seen so many people by that brother up on how they gonna stop back in all the days. But, hey, you know, just ask me to say, don't you?
What's that?
Something. Yeah, Jeff Foxworthy.
Oh no, I'm familiar with him. Right? What does he have to say about it?
There is a sign. That's what he'll say about it.
Well, I tell you, he reminds me of George Carlin too. They're comedians. They were funny. I don't know what has happened. These comedians today are more attack dogs than they are the comedians. They've lost their sense of humor.
Yeah.
Well, well, look, I want to play a few minutes of this before we go. Let me let you make a closing remark.
Yeah, well, fine day, Randy.
Thank you. It's good to hear from you. Thank you so much. I have not listened to this myself. I'm gonna take a chance because I know Bernard Lafayette, and this is Bernard Lafayette in his own words at Emory, talking about relationships and nonviolent protests. Let's see what he has to say.
Can you hear me? Why did they ask me to come and speak behind this guy? This is absolutely incredible. Absolutely. But I'm happy to be here and to join you and to share with you some of my experiences. And I first want to say that my wife has joined me here, Kate Lafayette. Okay, she's part of history. She was one of those who were from Tuskegee, Alabama, Macon County, and she was part of the first group of college students there who was the test case for voter registration back in the early days there. And so she's done some very incredible things. She knew George Washington Carver, okay, when she was a little girl growing up. And he taught her mother how to take care of the plants and that sort of thing. So she's a part of very, unique history in our country there from Tuskegee. But more importantly for me, that's why I know that God loves me. I've been reassured because he gave me an angel to guide me through, so I know what heaven was like before I got there. That's my wife, Kate Lafayette. And she lets me have ice cream every night. Well, I want to share with you some of the concepts and the philosophy related to nonviolence And I just thought that what we've done so far here that I've experienced is so apropos to what I'm going to share with you this evening. Because you're right on it. There's no question about it. You're right on it. And I'm so proud to be associated with Emory University when I see what you're doing as young people and students here. It makes me very proud, I can tell you that. Nonviolence is old as the history of mankind, and yet it's a foreign term to many people. My first exposure to this concept did not bear the name nonviolence. It basically described what love was all about. And we've heard this many times in growing up, you know, how important it is to love. And there are many different loves, of course, and the Greeks have 5. We talk about love. In the nonviolent context, we separate the eros, which is mainly the love for the spiritual realm of life, but then it's come to be the love between those who have affectionate relationships, more intimate. And then, of course, there's philos, philia, which has to do with relationship between brothers and sisters, and more fraternal. That's the basis of our fraternities, the philos, philia. But nonviolence is based on agape, the Greek definition of love, which means that you love expecting nothing in return. It's a love that's not reciprocal. It's not the basis of it, exchange, equal exchange. But it's a love that goes beyond the particular kind of rewards that one would get from each other. You love me, I love you. You don't love me, then I don't love you. No. This agape has to do with something that's much more powerful. And in fact, it's regenerated based on the ability to give. That you give only to gain, but you gain more to give. But it's not reciprocal in the sense that you gain from those that you give to, but rather within itself becomes self-generative. So the concept then of nonviolence is based on this type of love.
And this is a good place to stop for this morning. I will continue this on tomorrow, God willing. This is the classic Dr. Bernard Lafayette, who just passed away last week, the person who came and organized the youth of Selma in 1963. He and his wife, his first wife, Collier. And so while all these things are happening, this is another thing. Again, that's why I don't like getting caught up in that political thing. We're accusing our president of being a warmonger, but what about the number of wars that he just stopped? What about, when you get into this political thing, everybody's looking for a I gotcha moment. Well, I hope that we can get somebody to begin to address the root causes of poverty for people who want to get out. Now, there's a whole bunch of folks who are poor, who are not trying to change their circumstances. That's different. But for those who are trying to get out and trying to do something with their lives and trying to become productive citizens, we need to find ways to address the barriers that they're running up on. let's practice some of this agape love that Dr. Bernard Lafayette's talking about. The Christian concept of love your neighbor. There's a lot of things that it's associated with. We better pray for our leaders. Let's pray for our Army and our Air Force, our military. Pray for our law enforcement. Pray for the people who have put themselves in harm's way. Because anybody with common sense, you can see if you just look close enough that there's a lot of violence out there that people would like to, perpetrate on us. You have yourself a safe and enjoyable day. It's 9 o'clock.
Supreme leader for the first time. I'm Dave Anthony. It's a statement he wrote that an anchor read on Iran state TV. Vowing Iran will have revenge for atrocities and not refrain.